The effort to prevent another January 6th is underway in the Senate, where the Rules Committee will meet this Tuesday to mark up the Electoral Count Reform Act, a key procedural step toward passage. The bipartisan bill seeks to Trump-proof future election certifications in a number of ways. Here to tell us more is Senator Alex Padilla, Democrat from California. Senator Padilla, thank you for coming back to the Sunday show, and thank you for coming on set here in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. Welcome to my neck of the woods.
Yes, for once.
Back with you.
Thank you. So, Senator, you are on the Rules Committee.
Absolutely.
There is this procedural vote that's going to happen. One, why is it so important that this gets done?
Hugely critical. And let me remind folks that in addition to being a senator from California, I served as California Secretary of State before joining the Senate.
That's right.
Overseeing elections in the most populous and diverse state in America. So I could talk to everything from ballot design to vote by mail to certification of elections, and of course, the Electoral Count Act, which kicks in every 40 years, which was abused, right, exploited, misinterpreted as part of January 6th, when Trump invited and incited a deadly insurrection in the nation's capital. It was the Electoral Count Act that they were abusing. So what we will begin the process of doing in the Senate this week is tightening up that language to say a couple of things like better protecting against rogue governors, legislators that may want to look at election results and say, no, never mind, we're going to send a different set of electors as part of who should be the next president of the United States, making it abundantly clear what the powers of the vice president are and are not when it comes to accepting those electoral votes in Congress every 4 years, because the threats against Mike Pence, were about perceived ambiguity in the law. I disagree, but if we can tighten up that language, we need to do it, and we need to do it now, because even though the November midterms are upon us, we know that that's really the kickstart of the next presidential election cycle. So let's set the rules clear well in advance of 2024.
Right. This is all about getting things in place for 2024. However, there's the Senate bill that you guys are going to discuss, but there's also a House bill, which is a little different. Will the two chambers be able to reconcile the differences and actually get a bill that can pass both chambers and get to the president's desk for a signature?
Look, I firmly believe so, because there's both bipartisan and bicameral support for the need to get this done and do it sooner rather than later. So slightly different versions of the bill trying to achieve the same goal right now, whether the Senate acts in the House bill, the House acts in the Senate bill, or it's a conference committee, different ways to get there. But I think there's building momentum to making sure we get this done.
But is there bipartisan support to do this?
Absolutely.
Are there Republicans who are on board with the electoral
There
count?
are already 10, maybe even 11 Republicans that have lent their name publicly to the Senate proposal of the Electoral Count Act. We'll start hashing it out in Rules Committee this week. But bottom line, like I said, making sure we're protecting against rogue electors or rogue governors, legislators trying to undermine the will of the people in their respective states, making it clear what the vice president powers are and are not. And the most important thing is one big piece of doing everything we need to do to avoid another January 6th after future elections. And then we go right back to work, by the way. I should not leave this out of the conversation, to the work that we've started on protecting our fundamental right to vote and access to the ballot. If there was one concern about the Electoral Count Act, is it's specific to the Electoral Count Act, but does not encompass the need to protect voting rights in America. So that work will continue, but will the Electoral Count Act help prevent future insurrections or January 6th type events? Absolutely.
And if I heard you correctly, you said there are 10 Republicans in the Senate who are on board, which is significant because you need 10 to overcome a filibuster. So action will move in the Senate. I want to switch gears and talk about the big mayor's race here in Los Angeles. I want to put up the latest poll that shows our guest in the first hour of the Sunday show, Congresswoman Karen Bass, is leading her Republican challenger, Rick Caruso, if my math is right there, by 12 percentage points. Would love to get your reaction, if you wouldn't mind, to this mayor's race, and why someone who everyone thought was going to be a formidable candidate, a billionaire like Rick Caruso, according to these poll numbers, isn't gaining any traction.
Well, substance matters. right? In not just in Los Angeles, but California has a long history of very wealthy candidates, both sides of the aisle,
Right.
Seeking office. You can't buy your way in. Voters are pretty smart about this. I think what Karen Bass has going for her is not just relationship with the community in all parts of the city and beyond, but a track record. I was in the state Senate when she served as Speaker of the Assembly. In the darkest days of the Great Recession, I saw her mastery of navigating politics and budgets to survive economic downturns while maintaining a social safety net. Tremendous leadership. I've seen her in Congress being a tremendous voice for voting rights, for criminal justice reform, for foster youth. And I know that housing and homelessness is a big issue here locally in Los Angeles, as it is in a lot of cities across America. I think she brings the relationships, the experience, and the demeanor to pull people together to get the hard work done.